What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claire.
This is our spoiler chat for the first episode of Invincible on Amazon Prime. We get Nerdy Nightly.
We thought we'd share it with you.
Yeah. That is right. We are here. This is a spoiler chat for just episode 1.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, but episode 1. Amazon Prime did drop the first 3 episodes of Invincible on Friday last week. Unfortunately, we were quite busy with our 36-hour stream. And so we're going to be doing episode 1 today, Tuesday. Then tomorrow, episode 2. Thursday will be episode 3, and then on Friday we will have episode 4 up on time, along with our Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler chat. We're also going to have a Godzilla vs. Kong spoiler chat this week. We are busy. There do be content.
Yeah, there's stuff coming out.
Yeah, we got movies to watch.
Nice. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it is weird, right? That when we first started doing Nerdy Nightly almost a year ago, the first Nerdy Nightly video dropped in May of last year. There was like nothing to talk about. Like we were baking. We were because that was like
we baked nerdy things.
Yeah, we baked nerdy things because there's nothing else, and now I feel like we're almost like having to pick and choose. Like we're not making spoiler chats about all the CW shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's too much for just 2 people to do. So.
But Invincible, it has come to Amazon Prime, and this is something I want to talk about because this is a comic book property that I really enjoyed when I was a kid. I haven't read these comics in over 10 years now, I think. If I know, I'm pretty sure this came out in.
You were in high school when you read them?
I'm pretty sure. When did the comics come out? I think 2004, right? 2003 was Invincible #1. Gotcha. Way back in the day. So, you know, this is a series that I enjoyed in, like, high school. And then just remembered loving, but haven't picked up in a while. And I'm so glad it's been brought to Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's a little weird to do a spoiler chat of it because, in some ways, if you've read the comics, it's a really faithful recreation of the comics.
Yeah, you kind of already know exactly what's going on if you've already read the comics.
But as someone new to the franchise, what did you think of the first episode of Invincible?
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed The Boys, so I knew that this was going to be kind of similar vibes. And what I really appreciated was the structure that the first episode had, where it set up everybody and everything seemed like hunky-dory and great.
Can't believe you just said hunky-dory.
I didn't like words. And then you kind of get like a post-credit scene. Like each episode has
the way they play with where the credits fall, the opening title card and the credits in each episode has been very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very non-traditional, which I appreciate.
It's really cool. So for episode 1, I really liked that it felt like a whole episode that was very nice, and then you had a couple credits, and then this like dark like bloodbath where everybody gets murdered. Well,
and what's really interesting is there's a lot of action in the first episode, right? It starts with a lovely little scene that had the opening scene between the 2 security guards.
Yeah.
That had the dialogue was just a little rough around the edges.
Okay.
I think it might be the exact dialogue from the comics. And so delivered when you're not reading it, when it was delivered by actors, I don't know, the opening scene I was a little worried. I was like, oh, this feels a little stilted. And then the rest of the episodes, all 3, because we've seen them all by now, they're all written much better than that opening scene. Yeah. But I really like the character of Matt, the security guard.
Yeah.
Or the security guard's son's name is Matt.
Okay.
I really like the introduction of that idea. And I really appreciated the Mahler twins come up out of the ground. They're attacking the White House, trying to kill the president. And the Guardians of the Globe show up to save the day. And Omni-Man shows up to help them. And what I appreciated about that fight sequence is that it was very PG.
Yeah.
It was very, like, that could have been an episode of the Justice League animated show from the 90s.
Yes.
Right? The heroes were really focused on saving everyone. People weren't really dying. There wasn't a whole lot of blood. Like, the things that the contrasting things that we see at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Where they were like, this is not Justice League. The scene where it's like, where they're telling you this is not Justice League. Is so much the better because they've kind of lulled you into this fake idea that like this show is going to be it's going to be cheery, and the heroes are all aw shucks, and even like the Batman, Darkwing, which is weird to me because like I just think of Darkwing Duck, but even that Batman is like he's not even as brooding as Justice League Batman. You know what I mean? Like he's he's got his little surfboard and he's flying around.
Yeah, I think that the stark contrast from the beginning to the end of that episode was brilliant. I even like turned to you. I was like, I thought this was gonna be like gory.
Well, because I told you I was like, this is adult.
Yeah. You weren't gonna like let me walk into it thinking it was like a kids show.
Well, and I couldn't because the trailer we watched.
That's true.
The trailer review.
The trailer gives you enough to know, which is it's good because if you were to start this expecting something like G-rated, it's not. Yes.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's almost misleading in that way. Like I feel like Amazon should maybe do a better job making sure that people know this is an adult show. Because if you only saw the iconography, right? If you only saw like the poster of the suit and him flying, Invincible, the character we haven't even talked about the title character yet. You might think that this is a show that you can show your kids, and it isn't.
No.
In a lot of ways. Although I will say, once we do get into the gore wasn't really disgusting to me. Interestingly,
no,
it's like, animated in a nice way.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It's animated well. Like I definitely have a more visceral response to watching the gore in like Game of Thrones or The Boys because it is realistic, whereas this is a cartoon, and I can understand what is happening, but I don't feel that like, oh god.
Well, it's just it's so over the top. Like they're like, we're gonna show you the entire intestine, which is, it would almost be gorier if they toned it down a little bit and it felt a little bit more like real, but because it's so it's so gross.
This feels totally like next level, like 11 out of 10 in a sense. So it does not feel real. Also coupled with that being animated, but I gotta say my favorite moment in the first episode was when Invincible discovers his powers. Yeah,
so we do, once we meet the heroes and the day is saved, the president is not killed, we do go to high school, and we have our morning with the Steven Yeun's character, Mark Grayson, who will go on to be Invincible, is at home with his mom, and she's upset that her husband, Omni-Man, is going to miss breakfast because he's busy saving the White House. And I really appreciated, obviously, Sandra Oh is such an incredible actress. And I love the framing of the wife of basically Superman, who the stakes in their life are always so high that like saving the White House is at the point now where she doesn't care anymore. She's just kind of like, I just kind of wish he was supposed to take me to Paris this morning. Like,
I really would like a good croissant. Like.
And then we get to see Steven Yeun's, or I keep calling him Steven Yeun. I'm so proud of Steven Yeun because right now he's like an Academy Award winning or nominated actor. And he's also like, he's having a great moment.
He's doing good stuff.
And he's got that Walking Dead money. Like, Steven Yeun is set, you know what I mean? And he's leading a really, like, an incredible cast of voice actors here.
Oh, yeah. Everybody is, like, top tier.
But we do see him go through his first day, or not his first day, but through a day of life. He goes to school where he runs into his friend William, who is voiced by Andrew Rannells.
Which just warms my heart.
And in later episodes, we also get, oh my god. From Big Mouth. They're both from Big Mouth. Him and
Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas is in it as well. So there's like a lot of Big Mouth voices in this show, which is very funny. Because he's William is kind of like Matthew from Big Mouth. He's like the gay friend character at school. And so just the fact that they have the same voice.
Like the nicer friend.
Yeah, he's a much nicer. Much better wingman in later episodes. We'll get to that later. But eventually, we see Omni-Man say like, "Oh, your powers are gonna come. They're gonna come soon. You're almost 18. That's like the latest it can happen." And we see him get beat up at school. Which
he tries to stand up for a girl. It's like, hey, leave her alone, and gets the crap kicked out of him. And
and then she kicks the guy in the balls, and I was like, "It's
great.
You go, girl."
Yeah, that was a great scene.
I've been kicked in the balls from behind. I didn't deserve it, but that is the worst. It's painful. It hurts.
Noted. Okay.
No. Wait, no.
Not you. Like.
Wait, no. Please don't. No man deserves that. Unless you're in trouble, then go for it. But he gets beat up, and you're like, this guy's supposed to be our superhero? Like, what the heck?
Yeah. But it was a nice way to do it, though, because he's like a just normal kid for a little bit, and it's nice because we get to have him develop more as a character and a person before his powers show themselves, and he accidentally throws a trash can or a trash bag into space.
Yes.
Which is very funny.
An incredible moment.
Yeah, he like has 2 bags, like chucks one in the dumpster, and then goes to chuck the other one, and it just goes flying, and it was top tier. Yeah,
I was really struck by the comedic timing of it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, I appreciated that there wasn't like a flash of light and you've got powers now. It was literally as simple as no powers.
Yeah. They did it really, really well. It was a lot of the stuff in the show is timing, and it works really well. They're doing good stuff with the dialogue and with the characters.
Yeah, and with the animation, they tell so many interesting stories with the style of animation that they're using.
Yeah.
Particularly in the next couple of scenes as we see Mark start to fly. I really felt like they managed to show motion in the air in a way that was really compelling to watch. Yeah. And there was a huge difference between like the character flying around, or any of the flying characters flying around, versus the flight in combat. They did a really good job to show like, oh, the characters are like, there's like a strain to the animation when they're in combat. They're like pushing, whereas there's like an ease to the way they're flying around usually. And I really appreciated the way that was drawn or computer animated, or however they do it these days.
However they do these things nowadays.
I'm an expert on such things, clearly.
No idea.
I really appreciated the difference in the worlds, but still making the whole world felt cohesive. Like the high school, despite having nothing to do with the superhero world, still felt like it was in the same world as the action sequences.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was really struck by a lot of the imagery, and just the colors. I mean, it's a really bright and poppy show for something that is on its inside so dark. Yeah. And they're really selling it like. It's sort of the opposite of what Zack Snyder does with Justice League, right? Where Zack Snyder is like, I'm going to make dark Justice League, and it's also going to be like barely lit, in a beautiful way. But realistically, there's going to be no color. It's going to look as dark as the characters in our monologues are. Whereas this is like, there's a lot of dark stuff happening, but instead we're going to throw every color in the rainbow at you.
Yes.
And we're going to make it as bright and like vibrant as like, the comic books of like the 70s and 80s. And that's kind of, Robert Kirkman obviously wrote this comic. I want to make sure I get the original artist right on that as well. Sorry, it's Robin Kirkman and Cory Walker, I believe. Yeah, Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker created this character together, and it is very clearly a pastiche kind of send-up of Silver Age comics storytelling.
Yeah.
In a way that I really love, and that's kind of the comics I grew up on. And so for me, I feel like they've done a really good job of like making the distinction between the content and the visuals.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. The like juxtaposition of it works. Mm-hmm. It's fun in a weird way. Mm-hmm. And like I'm not really a watcher of like animated shows much, but I really enjoyed this week. We spent our afternoon watching all 3 episodes, and I am excited for Friday.
When we first watched The Boys, I was like, oh, I'm so excited they put the first 3 episodes out at the same time. This one I wish they hadn't, interestingly enough, because I want to talk about the final sequence here.
Yeah.
the main part of the episode ends with Mark figuring out his superhero name. He takes down his first baddie in a scene that is really which is really just kind of like the generic first fight.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah, but it's fun, and like the villain's like skin breaks off. It's interesting. He's an interesting little fight.
Yeah,
and his dad is like, all kids think that they're invincible, but you are actually invincible.
And he's like, yeah, I'm invincible.
I am invincible.
Yeah.
And so he gets his name, he gets his suit, and then credits. And you're like, okay, that was a good episode of television. We met our character, we met the heroes, we understand a little bit about the world. The end.
I was like, okay. Not what I was expecting, but sure.
And then J.K. Simmons returns. Our Omni-Man, voiced phenomenally by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
He is playing Superman, but slightly off. And there's something a little weird about the guy. And that all comes home to roost when we have... It was funny. I don't mean to keep bringing up Zack Snyder's Justice League, but the credits happened, and then I felt like we had like our Zack Snyder Justice League moment where every single member of the Guardians of the Globe got an introduction scene.
Yes. They each had like a little quick like tidbit of characterization, I guess.
Yeah.
Just so that they felt like people when then they were massacred by Omni-Man.
Massacred. But we won't go into those introductions because they don't matter.
Those characters are all dead.
Omni-Man shows up and...
He basically calls them all to the headquarters somehow and meets them there. And
then proceeds to fight them without much of a plan.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, like...
He's kind of just like, yeah, I can take him.
He could have lost that.
Yeah, and he kind of almost did.
Right? Once he got rid of the Red Rush, their version of the Flash, it was a much easier fight, obviously. His struggle up until that point was obviously Red Rush was being able to move everybody out of the way of his attacks. But for someone who... this felt calculated, but calculated poorly.
But no, it felt calculated up until the point when he got them there, and then it just felt desperate. In a way. It's like he'd had this... It feels like, and you've read the comics, so I don't know, but it feels like this is a plan he's had for a while, and something, maybe his son getting powers, kickstarted it. Like, he's like, I have to do this right now. And he hadn't, like, he thought through...
Right? Yeah, that's actually an interesting idea.
He thought it through up until getting them all in the same room, and then it was kind of just desperation. And maybe I'm, like, reading too hard into it, but it kind of seems like... He kind of had a plan that was not fully realized, and something happened where he had to execute it then and there.
I think there's also maybe a foreshadowing of his flaws in that he's so strong that he is overconfident.
That is true as well. Like, I feel like he was like, yeah, I can just take him. It doesn't matter. I can win this, no problem.
And like, there were moments there where I was like, they might win. And then obviously... Once it's no longer 7-on-1, once it's or 6-on-1,
he takes him out like the last couple he's able to take
out
pretty easily, which is terrifying.
Which is very, very terrifying. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle everything moving forward. I mean, the show sets up so many fun plot lines in the first episode.
Yeah,
that I'm really excited to see play out. I really love the design of everything. The voice cast is incredible. Some of the voice cast of the Guardians of the Globe who, like Lauren Cohen, also from The Walking Dead, with Stephen Yeun. Sonequa Martin Green, I think maybe was also in The Walking Dead.
I don't recognize.
Yep. She was Sasha on The Walking Dead.
Wait, she was?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, she obviously plays Michael Burnham on Star Trek Discovery now.
I was like, I can't really tell.
But like, they had like an incredible cast just for the Guardians of the Globe that are, an A-list cast.
And they were there for an episode and then died.
Yeah. I'm really excited to meet the new Guardians of the Globe. Obviously, if you're a comics reader, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up with them, as well as all the other twists and turns that are coming. I'm excited for you to see the twists and turns.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to, off camera, you'll have to let me know if I'm right with the, like, inciting incident.
Which inciting incident?
Like why he killed them now. Why now?
We'll find out.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna spoil any of the show for you. I think we're gonna keep the spoiler chats to what we've seen.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna read ahead because the show is pretty faithful to the comics, and I don't wanna. If you're watching the show fresh, or like you are, I think that we'll keep the surprises so that I can watch your face when they happen.
Okay, fine.
If you like this video, come back tomorrow to see the episode 2 spoiler chat. The day after that, episode 3, and on Friday we will have a fresh episode 4. The best way to do that is subscribing to the channel down below. Also hit that like button, ring the notification bells if you really don't want to miss it. And you can follow us over on Twitch. You're streaming...
I'm streaming tomorrow, actually, Wednesday afternoon with my girls, playing some Dead by Daylight, so that's
gonna be very fun.
twitch.tv/ClarkDakaris.
And I'm over at twitch.tv/Nerdy Nightly playing that Nerdy Lock, as well as some One Couple One Controller on Fridays.
Yes.
At that channel, you can also find us doing the Monday morning, nightly morning, weekly show. Every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we do our nerd news shenanigan breakdown. We'll teach you about the box office, and you too can know how well Croods 2 is doing, because that's mostly what we talk about.
Yeah, it's a good time.
As always, my name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarice.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.